how do we prevent some breaking when we change things like department code? It's an interesting question. We tried really hard within the software to hide the IDs, which means you're working with friendly names, department codes, location codes, and so on. The advantage of that is they're super easy to work with. The downside to that is that department names can change. And if department names can change, you end up in a situation where you may have inserted a list of departments. You've inserted a formula. Let's choose the regular balance function. And we filtered that on the department, for example. So let's imagine that sales, the name changed and it became a different code. So I'll stick a 2 on the end. You can see that now goes to a 0. And what could happen in real life is that somebody changes the department code within NetSuite. You don't update your reports because you've not updated your reports. You've then got the issue that the coding that you've used in the report no longer matches NetSuite, and you end up getting zeros coming through. One way to overcome that problem, when you insert things like department codes, use a list. You can always refresh your list. When you refresh the list, we will pick up the new name from NetSuite for you, so you don't have to. If you type in the name of the department, it's not linked to anything, so the software doesn't know to go back to NetSuite to grab the new department code. Whereas if you insert a list and then use the refresh option, we can update that for you. Specifically, if you really do want to work with IDs, let me show you a way we can do that. So I'm going to right click and go into the choose columns option, and I'm going to pull the department ID through. And again, this could be department ID followed by name, however you want to do it. So here we've got the department code, the department name. I'm actually now going to go back into choose columns, and I'm going to lose the department name column. Let's get rid of that. Click OK. There we go. And I'm going to go in, and rather than using the column from the choose column screen, I'm going to go back to that function that I described to you earlier, the lookup, the department lookup function. And I'm going to look up the department name based on the ID. So I'm going to filter on the department ID. The value that I'm going to use is going to come from here for that particular row. And the field that I'm going to return is going to be the full name. Can you see there that that's the default for that parameter? So I don't actually need to provide that parameter. Let's click on OK. Copy that down. So we've now got the ID coming from the list. We've got the department name being looked up dynamically. So I don't need to refresh the list this time because these IDs never change. They can never change. And then when I reinsert this function up here, when I reinsert the function, now when I choose the department, I'm going to reference the department name here. That department name is now dynamic. So when I copy it down, we get the balance values come through. Whenever these change within NetSuite, all I simply have to do is do a regular refresh. I don't need to refresh the list because the IDs or the internal IDs have not changed. I simply click on OK. And you'll see not only do the numbers, the balances go to #NA, but also these lookup functions go to #NA because they get looked up first. So we resolve the IDs to the name, and then having resolved the IDs to the name, we can now resolve the balances from the names themselves. And again, it doesn't matter if the name has changed. So very simple. we're using a static ID to dynamically look up the name to then dynamically look up the balance. I hope that answers that question.